Welcome to the Graffiti Jungle, Paulo Palingue. Welcome to the Graffiti Jungle, Paulo Palingue. Benvenuti nella giungla del graffiti. Questo è impostore, rockstar, it's a fake rockstar chat show. Pensieri, Tenja Gihareh. 4 minutes, Tenja Large chat show. We got a podcast, we'll be working on that really soon. Today, sono dopo capo, io sono Chief Charge, let's see if I got to skip around the podium. Alright. We're reading Oils by Melanie Cambridge. I'm on page 53, 54. And so far, we're talking about quick studies. Yes. So page 43. Okay, I wasn't on page 54. I'm on page, hold on. Quick studies. Familiar objects. Familiar objects. Just a little recap of somewhat last time. Here are more familiar objects which can serve as quick studies. I think I finished reading The Landscape. What's this one called? In the Countryside. So I think I will at least finish this. So again, in the countryside, these are some landscapes that can help serve as quick studies. Nope, I did read buildings. I read buildings. Alright, so I might be on page 53, 54. Here is buildings. We got some more quick studies. These are some more quick studies. And I did read water. So I am on page 54. I did finish page 53 because it was about painting reflections. Okay. So here are some more quick studies for oil paintings. And key thing to remember is that all of these paintings were done in 30 minutes or less. All of these paintings were done in 30 minutes or less. So picking up on page 54, skies. And I can already agree with this. Skies, especially like a sunset or a sunset, or you got sunset or sunrise. So skies make wonderful subjects for quick studies in oils. Just everyday inward subjects and studies as a painter. Skies make wonderful subjects for quick studies in oils. At a distant hillside or a strip of water along the horizon, and you have all the elements you need for a simple painting. Just broke that down just right there. At a distant hillside or a strip of water along the horizon, and you have all the elements you need for a simple painting. It is important to decide on the mother color. Never heard that before. It is important to decide on the mother color for your sky before you start painting. This is the main blue to be used for both. Let me see. This is the main blue to be used both for clear areas of sky and to mix the gray shades for the clouds. So I gotta say that again. This is the main, so it is important to decide on the mother color for your sky before you start painting. This is the main blue to be used both for clear areas of sky and to mix the gray shades for the clouds. By using the same blue throughout, you will create harmony in your sky. as all the colors will relate to each other. When adding a landscape below, use the same blue again for mixing your greens so that the sky and landscape will harmonize effectively. I feel like that was very important. I just feel like that was just so important. I'm just gonna read that part over again. I'm gonna read that part over again. I'm gonna read this whole part over again. I just feel like that was so important. She really just broke down, you know, skies and just the whole part of it, because it's literally, that's a simple painting. Like if you was having an oil painting class, it's just do this, right? These are just generic steps. So one more time. Skies make wonderful subjects for quick studies in oils. At a distant hillside or a strip of water along the horizon, and you have all the elements you need for a simple painting. It is important to decide on the mother color for your sky before you start painting. This is the main blue to be used both for clear areas of sky and to mix the gray shades for the clouds. By using the same blue throughout, you will create harmony in your sky, as all the colors will relate to each other. When adding a landscape below, use the same blue again for mixing your greens so that the sky and landscape will harmonize effectively. That was beautifully said. All right, let me see. Perspective in skies. Remember that there is perspective in skies, just as there is in landscape. Clouds appear larger the nearer they are to the viewer, so paint the biggest ones at the top of your painting, gradually decreasing their sides towards the horizon. Similarly, when painting a clear blue sky, keep the strongest blues towards the top of your picture. Gradually add white to your mix to make first a paler blue for the middle section, and then cream or pink for a sunset as the sky dips towards the horizon. I gotta say that one again. Gradually add white to your mix to make a paler blue for the middle section, and then cream as the sky dips towards the horizon. So you're either gonna add cream or pink for a sunset, but you're gonna do pink for a sunset as the sky dips towards the horizon. This will help to create depth in your painting. So I'm gonna read these little tidbits. To make gray skies suitable for painting clouds, mix blue, orange, and white as shown here. See how many different grays you can make. Okay. Blue, she said mix blue, orange, and white to get your grays. Okay. And then here, she painted the sky first using Indian yellow and cadmium red light for the sunlit edges to the clouds. She put it in the sun as a pale gold disc and added the same color to a few ripples in the water into the beach. So at the top, she's showing you to mix orange, blue, and white to get those grays and how many different types of grays you can get for your clouds in case you need them. And then she has the picture right there. Again, every picture was painted in 30 minutes or less. Remember to use softened edges for clouds so that they become part of the sky, not simply stuck on top of it. Just softened edge means that it's kind of sort of blended. A hard edge is a definite, hard edge. The two colors that are next to each other are clearly defined. A soft edge, there's some type of like blending. A lost edge is completely, you're not sure when to start and how one begins. She has another painting here. For the gray clouds, she used Coryllium, cadmium red light, and titanium white, keeping to just Coryllium and titanium white for the blue sky above. Note how the sky is almost cream towards the horizon to create a sense of distance. And this is the other one. Skies are very important. Skies are very important in clouds, depth, perspective. Boats. Boats, that's, because there's this one painter, all he does is boats. Boats, water, skies. That's all he does. Animals. Yeah. Boats. Boats are an essential part of the scene in seascapes, coastal and river views, but you do not need to be an expert on boats to paint them. As for buildings, boats tend to be made up of several simple shapes, usually a series of rectangles with an angle shape for the bow. I'm gonna say that again. Boats tend to be made up of several simple shapes, usually a series of rectangles with an angle shaped for the bow. Cabins are generally fairly square. Look first at the main shape of the hull before adding a cabin or mast on top. Okay, in case you have to put a cabin on your boat. Cabins are generally fairly square. Look first at the main shape of the hull before adding a cabin or mast on top. When working quickly, you may find it easier to put a series of solid shapes with a brush rather than drawing an initial outline in pencil. Okay. She has a rowing boat. She painted with the number 7 long flat brush, vertical brush strokes blended together before adding a few silvery ripples on top with pure white paint. Then she has a Cornish fishing smack. Even if you are painting from a photograph, aim to keep details of the rigging to a minimum. Just a few carefully placed lines will suggest this. Here, the angle of the figure steering the boat provides a strong sense of movement. And then she has a little motorboat. The figure in this 1950s motorboat adds scale, while the bow wave helps to indicate movement. There is no need to paint the sky. A few brush strokes for the water were enough for a quick study such as this. And so, let's see the different ones. The rowing boat, the fishing smack, and then the motorboat. Quick studies. Scale and proportion. The key to painting boats in your scenes is to get the scale right. As you paint, keep checking that your boat is in proportion to, say, the figure on the bank or buildings in the harbor. If, when you are working on your picture, a figure walks by, mark in the head height as he or she goes past the boat you are painting. A quick dot of paint for the head and a brush stroke for the torso will be enough. Then add the legs and arms, and your figure will be almost as quickly, and your figure will be complete almost as quickly as they have walked out of view. That's really cool. I'm gonna say that again. If when you are working on your picture, a figure walks by, marking the head height as he or she go past your boat you are painting, a quick dot of paint for the head and a brush stroke for the torso will be enough. Then add the legs and arms, and your figure will be complete almost as quickly as they have walked out of view. So she has a river cruiser. I don't really like this picture that much, but details such as the blue fenders and the cabin windows help to create the shape and form of this cruiser on the River Thames. And then she has a narrow boat. This traditional narrow boat was moored up, which gave me completely enough time to paint it. I added the figure later when he came back to take the boat away. So on this one, the guy came back to take the boat away, and then she added him to the picture. Okay, animals, people, animals and people are next. Okay, animals and people are